Hey beautiful soul, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found my channel. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. I would love to hear from you. If you already subscribed, welcome back. I'm so glad you could join me again. And for those of you who have gifted or donated to my PayPal or Super Thanks, I'm truly grateful. You guys are amazing. Big hug to you. So let's get into this reading. Remember to only take what resonates and let the rest go. Spirit, show us the messages that wants to come true for the collective. So we have here the Three of Cups, Four of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, and Six of Pentacles. And Nine of Pentacles. Wow. So Spirit is showing me there was a moment, one very specific moment, and your person was right there for it, even though you might not have idea like they were watching you. You know, you were right in the middle of something impossibly hot, something that would have broken most people visibly, publicly, loudly, but you handle it entirely alone. You didn't ask for help. You didn't make a scene. You didn't call anyone, lean on anyone, or even pause long enough for the sheer weight of it to show on your face. I see you're just moving through it, step by step, decision by decision. I see maybe you could be at a hospital, clinic, or dealing with something like that, okay? So I see you moving with this grace or steadiness that make it look like you have done it 1,000 times before. When the truth is, you were falling apart on the inside. You were holding every single piece in a place through sheer force of will. And this person, they saw it, okay, all of it. Not just the composure, the rest of the world saw. They saw the effort underneath it. They saw the way you tighten your jaw for a split second before you relax it, or the way your hands move just a little too precisely. You know, the way hands move when they're trying not to shake. They thought like that one quiet controlled breath you took in the middle of it, that tiny invisible moment of self-regulation that you thought nobody on earth could see. And in that breath, something inside them broke. It broke. Not dramatically, not with tears or an epiphany they could easily put into words. Something shifted, something foundational. A load like wall inside your chest that had been had been keeping you in a category of someone they simply admired collapsed, and you fell into a completely different room, the room where the permanent things live, the room they do not let anyone into. And the door closed behind you. They knew right then, with a certainty that doesn't even need evidence, that they were never going to watch you carry something alone again. See, the reason that moment shattered them is inseparable from who you are at your absolute core. You are someone who learned very early in life that help isn't coming. Not that people don't offer it to you, not that people don't mean well, but that the kind of help you actually need, the kind that carries real weight, that shows up without being asked, that stays long after the crisis passes, was never reliably available to you. So you stop expecting it. You stop looking for an outstretched hand. You stop pausing at the hard parts to see if anyone will step in. And you just started handling everything yourself. Not because you wanted to, okay, but because the alternative was standing still and waiting for a rescue that might not arrive. And you couldn't afford to stand still. You had too many things depending on you, too many structures that would collapse if you stopped moving. So you kept moving on your own, through grief, through exhaustion, through moments that should have had someone standing right beside you, but instead had empty space. And the cruelest part of this whole thing, you did it so well that people stopped noticing it was hard. Your competence became your invisibility cloak. You carried things so smoothly that the people around you forgot the weight even existed. They stopped asking, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Because it never looked like you weren't okay. You trained the world to believe you were fine by being so relentlessly capable that nobody thought to look underneath that capability, what lives underneath it. The exhaustion, the profound loneliness, the quiet fury, like being the one who was always strong enough to hold everyone else, but was never held gently yourself. And that has been building inside you for years. You have all the keys, you have all the answers for yourself, and you have told almost no one, because who would tell you? Or who would you tell? The people you would tell are the exact same people you're busy carrying. There is a specific kind of aloneness that you carry that is completely different from basic loneliness. You can be standing in a room full of people who love you, people who care about you deeply, and you still feel it. Because it's not about the absence of people. It's about the absence of being witnessed. You have been seen your whole life, seeing doing, seeing achieving, seeing handling, seeing being strong, but you have rarely been witnessed. Witnessing is entirely different. Witnessing is someone looking at you while you are carrying something heavy and not trying to fix it, solve it, or rush through it. It's someone standing there saying, "I see what this is costing you. I see the weight. I'm not going to take it from you because I know you have the strength to carry it. But I'm not going to stand right here so you know you aren't carrying it into empty space. I'm standing right here for you." That is what you have needed your entire life. That is exactly what this person decided to become the moment they watch you handle that specific moment alone. Before that, they had feelings for you. And let's be honest about that. This was not the first time this person noticed you. They had been paying attention for a while now. Yes, from a distance. Noticing the way you treat people around you. The way you move through rooms. The way you carry yourself with a quiet dignity that doesn't ask for validation. They were attracted to you. They were interested. They were drawn to you the way people are drawn to something rare that they cannot fully put a name to it, but it was still sitting in the category of maybe. It was still in that safe space where feelings are comfortable because they haven't been tested yet. They like you. They thought about you, but they hadn't decided anything real, because deciding requires a level of certainty that doesn't come from surface attraction alone. And then they watch you handle that specific moment, and the maybe died instantly. It was completely replaced by the most absolute yes they have ever felt in their life. Because what they saw in that moment wasn't just strength or toughness or resilience. It was something almost sacred. They saw a person performing an act of profound self-sacrifice so quietly, like the rest of the world completely missed it. King of Swords. They saw someone choosing in real time, under immense pressure to hold everything together for the sake of everyone else at the direct cost of their own peace. And the grace of that choice hit them like a revelation. In that moment, they made a decision with the oldest part of themselves. The part that knows what it knows before logic or language gets involved. And the decision was this: I'm never going to let this person stand in something hot alone again. Not while I am breathing, not while I have hands, not while there is anything left in me to give. What this person felt wasn't a temporary crush. It was a vocation, a calling to stand beside you that feels as certain as anything they have ever known. If you pay close attention enough, you've probably noticed their behavior shifting ever since that day occurred. The decision changed how they operate immediately. They started showing up differently, not with grand gesture, dramatic speeches, or performative announcement, but in a small, consistent ways that matter far more than anything flashy ever could. They started checking on you, not a generic polite "how are you" that people throw out without wanting a real answer, but a kind of checking in that comes with specific intentional questions. Did that situation resolve? How did that difficult conversation go? Did you actually get a chance to eat today? Questions that prove they were listening the last time you went through something. Questions that prove they are tracking the small details of your life, not out of idle curiosity, but out of a care so deliberate it is so structural. They are building a framework of attention around you so quietly that you might mistake it for coincidence. But it is no coincidence. It is a person who watched you almost break under something you should never have had to carry alone. Deciding to become something strong, a structure you never had. And here is the part that would completely undo you, if you could see it clearly. They have started anticipating your needs. Before you even say you need something, before you even allow yourself to admit you're struggling, they are already positioning themselves to step in for you. Not because they think you're incapable. They know that you're more than capable. Your capability is the very thing that stunned them in the first place. But they have decided that being capable and completely alone is no longer acceptable for you. You can be capable and still be supported. You can be strong and still be held. You can carry the weight and still have someone standing right beside you, whose only job is to make sure you know the weight is seen. And they are doing that job with a quiet dedication that would probably embarrass them if you pointed it out, because it would mean admitting the full unfiltered depth of what they feel. And this person, they aren't quite ready for the level of exposure yet, but they're getting close. Every single day, every step, They're getting closer to saying out loud. Even the people close to this person have started noticing a shift. I see a friend or family member has watched them lately and commented on their change, not necessarily bringing you up or knowing you by name, but pointing out the difference in them. About how this person, like who used to move through life with a certain detachment or functional emotional distance, like they kept everything nice and manageable, they have suddenly become softer, more present, like slowing down and paying attention. While these people around them, they might not know the whole story yet, but they can feel the outline of your influence in the changes they are witnessing. Because the kind of transformation this person is going through doesn't come from like a self-help or motivational book. It happens from, coming to contact with somebody who showed them what real devotion and endurance look like by example. Okay, you may have gone through something drastic, like something like a loss, because I see thief. Somebody stole from you. Maybe not for everyone. So you, the person who shows up for everyone, who handles the impossible without asking for a reward. This could be something got to do with fidelity, this situation of yours. Okay, you are the example they didn't know they needed, but love right here and a visit. Like you are the example they didn't know they needed. Your life became the evidence that changed how they view commitment. And with that change comes a very specific kind of protective instinct. Or some kind of melody. Yes. Since watching that moment, this person has become hyper aware of the people around you, and whether those people actually deserve access to someone who gives as much as you give. They watch the people in your life and they suddenly catalog who actually shows up for you versus who just takes and takes from you. Who really checks in on you and who only reaches out when they need a problem solved. And the list of the people in your life who take your energy without ever giving back makes this person so furious in a way they can barely express, because they haven't earned the formal right to voice it yet. They haven't confessed how they feel, so they don't have the standing to manage your circle. But their protective instincts don't care about formal standings. They care about the fact like the person they watch handle something impossible is surrounded by people who wouldn't even notice if you collapse. That realization that you have been holding up people who would never hold you back, like something in them that is so fierce, loyal, and deeply protective of you. It makes them want to step in, rearrange your entire support system, and replace every person who ever took your strength for granted with someone who truly values it. Now, please think about how their physical perception of you shifted after that moment. Before, when the feelings were still in the casual stage, the physical attraction was standard. The kind of pull that lives in the eyes and on the surface without reaching much deeper. But after that moment, everything they feel about you physically is filtered through what they witness. They look at your hands and they think about what those hands were holding when nobody was there to help. They look at your shoulders and they think about everything that has been loaded onto them without your permission. They look at your face, the face that stays completely composed when everything behind it feels like it's crashing down, and they feel a tenderness so overwhelming it borders on physical pain. They want to touch you, yes, not the way they wanted to before. They want to touch you the way you touch something so rare and sacred. Something that has survived what it should never have had to survive. They want their hands on you, not to take anything from you, but to communicate one thing. You are safe now. I'm safe space for you. I'm here. You can finally put it down. They sit alone and imagine specific moments with you. They imagine you coming home after a long, exhausting day. They know what your hot days look like because they've studied the subtle rhythms of your life. They picture you standing there with that composed mask still on, the I'm fine mask that you wear so convincingly that the rest of the world believe your mask without any question. And imagine walking right up to you without saying a word, and wrapping their arms around you, and not asking what went wrong, not trying to analyze or fix whatever happened, just standing there and holding you so tightly until that composure finally cracks. Because they know it will crack, they know it will break if somebody finally created a safe space enough for you to stop holding it together. And when it cracks, they imagine holding you even tighter, not pulling away, not flinching, not getting uncomfortable with the weight of whatever comes out of you, but simply absorbing it. The exact same way you have been absorbing everyone else's weight your entire life. They imagine being the first person in your world who doesn't need you to be the strong one, who doesn't need your performance or your composure, who wants the version of you that exists at 3 in the morning when nobody is watching, or when you were sad, when you were sick, when your armor is completely off, and you are just a human being who is tired and deserving of real rest. That image of you resting against them, finally carrying nothing at all, is the thought that keeps them awake at night. Not because it's sad, but because it is the most beautiful thing they have ever pictured. And they are practically burning with desire to make it real. Now I need to speak directly to the part of you that's sitting here, resisting every single word you just heard. The part of you that is sick, tired of this, not like sleep tired, but tired deep down in your bones. The part that comes from years of being the reliable anchor without anyone ever stopping to ask what being the anchor costs you. Somewhere inside that fatigue, you've accepted a specific belief as absolute truth. You believe that this is just how your life is always going to work. You carry, you handle, the people around you need things, you provide for them, and that dynamic will never fundamentally change. Because changing it will require someone to show up for you the way you show up for everyone else. Nobody has ever done that consistently enough for you to believe it's actually possible. I know that protective part of you is loud right now. It's whispering, don't trust this, don't let this in, don't soften. Because softening is where you get hurt. And I'm not going to tell that part of you to shut down. That protective voice kept you alive. It's your coping mechanism. That part is the reason you're still standing after everything that should have pulled you under. But I'm going to ask that part of you to consider one quiet question. What if the reason no one showed up for you in the past wasn't because you were unworthy of being shown up for? What if it was simply because the person who was actually equipped to stand beside you, they haven't arrived yet? What if every empty space next to you during every hard thing wasn't proof of abandonment, but is a reservation, a seat reserved, being held for the one person whose strength could actually match yours without crumbling? And something is shifting around you right now. Even if you can only feel the early stages of it. The work you have done in silence, the effort you put in when nobody was watching and you were handling everything alone, is beginning to yield visible results. Recognition is arriving not because you beg for it, but because the sheer evidence of your discipline has become impossible to ignore. And the universe kept a meticulous record of every single hour you show up when it felt like nobody is watching, nobody knew, and the return on that investment is coming due. You might even notice your physical energy beginning to settle. There is a calm, magnetic warmth starting to radiate from you that people are responding to differently. Strangers being slightly friendlier, kinder, for no reason. People in your circle paying closer attention. Someone looking at you like a little longer than usual, like while you try to figure out why. It's happening because the version of you that spent years carrying burdens in silence is transforming into a version that carries something entirely different. Not weight, but real presence. And people can feel that shift before you even register it yourself. You were never meant to be alone in the dark forever. You were just focused so intently on the heavy load in your own hands that you forgot to look up and see who was standing nearby watching you carry it with complete devotion. And this person is going to speak up, okay? Not in some distant, vague future that feels safe, but soon. Because the internal pressure watching you carry things or standing silently beside you is becoming physically unbearable for them. They can feel the moment approaching, a specific conversation, quiet morning or evening or sudden crisis where the weight you carry becomes visible again. This time they're not going to stand by and just watch. This time they're going to step straight into the space next to you. When they do, it is going to sound like they rehearse it, polished, like it's almost perfect. It's not going to sound like that. It is going to sound like someone who has been holding a massive truth inside their chest for so long that when it finally comes out, it lands like a confession, like a promise, like the most certain sentence they have ever uttered in a lifetime of being alive. So what they are going to tell you in whatever trembling, imperfect way the words arrive is that you are never going to carry anything alone again. Not while they are here, not while they are breathing, not while there is a single ounce of strength left in them to share with you. The timing of all of this is not accidental. It's not coincidence that this person witnessed you in that very exact moment or this specific crossroad in your life. You are stepping out of an old era, one built entirely on solitary strength, isolation, self-reliance, and moving into something completely new. The foundation beneath you is shifting from carrying everything alone to building shared strength. And that kind of shift requires someone to enter your life who understands the massive difference between trying to rescue you and choosing to stand beside you as an equal. This person understands difference completely. They don't want to save you because you don't need saving. And they know it. They want to partner with you. They want to stand in a storm right next to you. They're not going to stop you, delay you, or block your view, but sharing the load with you so evenly that neither of you notices the weight anymore. Yes, because anything feels light when it is held by 4 hands instead of 2. And for the very first time in your life, you are actually going to believe it. Not just because of the words they use, but because of the look in their eyes when they say them. The look that says, I watch you almost break, and I decided in that exact second I will spend the rest of my life making sure the weight you carry is never more than you can handle. That look, the one you have never seen directed at you, the one you stop believing even existed in this world. It exists. It has your name on it, and it is much closer than you think. So take a deep breath. Let's see the initials now. Wow, there's a lot of E. Triple 3, 6, 7, 7, 4, triple 7. You could be seeing angels numbers 333, 777, 6 or 9. 666, 1, 5, 2. This could be any significant numbers in your life. Could be birthday, birth month, anything like address, telephone numbers, anything like a sign for you. Wow, main character energy. You and this person have main character energy, and you don't waste your potential. You are more than enough. They think you're more than enough. Oh, okay, I'm trying to read. Oh, it's getting so dark here. All my life has been a heartbreak weather, but with you things are different, or it's different when you're with me, something like that. I've so much love for you in my heart that it doesn't fit. Oh my, I love this one. Sweet and strong. Yes, you are sweet, incredibly sweet and strong. Just grab one more. Wow, ticket to happiness. So this is your ticket to happiness. Comment below. I'm gonna get my ticket to happiness. Ticket to happiness. Amazing. We got Aries, Pisces, Leo, Cancer, Aquarius, another Aries, Pisces, Capricorn, Taurus, another Aries, Pisces, Aries, Q, Z, E, O, D. 12887. Gotta leave it here. I hope this reading resonates. Let me know. Please remember to comment ticket to happiness, short and sweet, okay? Or I'm sweet and strong, or just sweet and strong, ticket to happiness. Take care, guys. Love you.